It's the Caleb Lee MTG Show.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've got a soft spot for fast spawn. I would love to hook up my future self with some obnoxious fast spawn pile. But I think I'm going to grab this Archon. Archon's a pretty premium removal target. It works well with sneak attack too. We'll see what's open. How many times did I cast Twister? A few. The second game, or the second match, I think we had a nice Twister game. So Bone Shards is a nice discard outlet. There's some good cards here, but not quite enough to get me to redirect, right? Like Skull Clamp. I've actually really dug the Sacrifice deck in this cube. It was one of my 3-0s so far. And there you'd take the Clamp and hope the Apprentice wheels. But yeah, I think Bone Shards is a perfectly fine follow-up to Archon. Might wheel the Cruel Ultimatum, do stuff with that. You're getting good at pack 1, what does Caleb take? Oh yeah, you watch the stream enough? I'm pretty predictable. Sometimes, I mean, like, I'll very rarely draft the same archetype that I just drafted, but that also, like, once you know that, also makes it more predictable, right? Helps narrow down the options. Back-to-back discard outlets. That's probably fine, huh? Yeah, the Misty and the Ponder are tempting, but there's a solid chance we end up red black. Is Academy excluded from the back-to-back rule? Sometimes. Like I said, I try not to. It's not 100%. I'm like weirdly tempted by Survival. Maybe Massacre Worm's where it's at. I like that Massacre Worm is a reanimation target that can also just be cast, right? It can just be good to cast. Young Dingo! Thanks for the raid. Welcome, folks. Hope you all had a dope stream. Hope you had a great time. So Living Death is the first reanimation effect we've seen. It's not bad, but it is very slow. I think we'll grab Faithless Looting. Shelldock Isle's pretty premium, too. Awesome. Thanks for giving Dingo the shout-out workshops. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Young Dingo streams a shitload of Modern, and he's fucking great at it. Little Dark Ritual action, little Elishnorn action. Let's grab that Dark Ritual. Anyway, give him a follow if you're so inclined. I did see that Ghost announced a world tour. Yeah, Ghost and King Gizzard both announced some pretty serious tours. You're gonna have to think about that. Hell yeah, Commando Zacko. Yeah, I think there's a Milwaukee stop. Iona, nice. Iona was premium reanimation target for a long time. You just like shut out monocolored decks. I haven't seen a ton of monocolored decks this cube season. Some mono whites. Weirdly, have not seen any mono red, but I'm still gonna grab it. Yeah, St. Paul's a little far from me. When I first moved to Madison, I thought I might be driving up to Minneapolis, St. Paul for shows and stuff. But every time I'm tempted by one, it's like, 5-hour drive. Slightly out of my range. 2 or 3 hours to Chicago, doable. 1 hour to Milwaukee, that's nothing. Hey, a corpse dance, sure. Little seal action, little tutor action. Hell yeah, Eric Virgo. Yeah, I'm tempted by that too. The King Gizzard Orchestra. There's that survival back again. I don't think we'd have the creatures though, right? If we're oathing, then we're not survivaling. I'm gonna grab this Mango Opus just in case something weird happens with this Cruel Ultimatum. The Living Death came back. That's a good sign. That's a good fucking sign. That means that the reanimation effects just weren't opened, I think. So we might not be fighting anybody in these next packs. Did the vintage drafts people take it seriously? Or were the decks kind of janky because you take cards worth money? I think most people were money drafting, yeah. That's the smart thing to do. That is the prize. You were going there to money draft. You drove 6 hours to a Porter Robinson concert a couple weeks ago. Nice. I'm actually, on Sunday, I'm flying. I'm flying to a concert. It's not the first time I've done that either. But usually I'm flying to festivals. Well, I guess this is a festival. Yeah, it's a festival, but you can, like, buy tickets for like, individual stages. And I'm just going to one of the stages. A lot of Porter Robinson fans in the chat. I don't know if I'm familiar. Oh, a DJ. Sometimes I've heard someone like a billion times, and I still just straight up do not recognize their name. So currently we have no creatures for this recurring nightmare. But I think it's still the grab. If we'd ended up doing the green-black reanimator thing, then Grist would have been nice. Still could be. Still could work out that way, but with a Grist wheel, feeling kind of unlikely. Hey, there's Grizzlebrand. I think I might not be main decking the Massacre Worm. Jace plays really well with Recurring Nightmare. Reanimate, nice. There's a Blood Crypt there, too. Oh, yeah, I didn't actually watch the drafting question. I just saw, like, various tweets from it and stuff and heard people talking about it. So I appreciate the people that actually watched answering the question a little bit more legitimately than myself. Massacre Worm has been really good for you this cube. Hell yeah. God, I remember when Massacre Worm and Hornet Queen both saw a lot of play in Vintage Cube. That was always fucked up. A little Restless Vents action. God, Mystical Tutor is really good in Reanimator. I feel like red is just going to fit better, though. Maybe that's just a feeling. Maybe that's just a vibe. Then we see all this sweet blue discard action. Yeah, maybe I'm being silly. Maybe I'm supposed to take careful study here. Ashen Rider is not a bad one to reanimate, though, and Vamp Tutor is not bad here either. We already have 2 red duels. Yeah, give me the Tutor, I guess. Lavamancer is just a sideboard thing. I mean, I could end up still being an Oath deck. Just take the Raging Ravine here. The Satanist not really ramping me to anything except for the Living Death is the issue. Yeah, just like grabbing random red shitters makes the Recurring Nightmare look more interesting. Opalman Courier could be a discard outlet. Hey, Gratz Cutie, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 6 months, the half a year. Is Consecrated Sphinx still good? I think so. I've seen it end some games this cube season for sure. As soon as you see that trigger go on the stack, you're just like, oh, yeah, steel feels good. Yeah, the Grist is mighty tempting. Inferno Titan's not a bad one, but we do already have, like, plenty of things to reanimate. This is one of those that's, like, also very castable, right? Like the Massacre Worm. I might just take Flame Slash, just grab a removal spell. Blood Crypt Wield, that's a really good sign. Yeah, Grist plus Nightmare is really good, but we don't have the fixing for it currently. Maybe if I'd grabbed that Raging Ravine earlier. I wonder if Corpse Dance is in. It's good with Grizzlebrand. It's like not the worst with Archon. Filling out the ranks a little bit. Is Carrion Feeder too low quality an outlet? An outlet for what? You want to sacrifice your Grizzlebrand and then reanimate it? Are you confusing it with Putrid Imp? Hey, no worries. Putrid Imp was in the cube for holy fuck. So I'm going to take this Mox Jet, but there's an outside chance that Library of Alexandria is actually better than Reanimator with a really tight curve. Library just lets you overfill your hand really clean, really nice. I'm going to give myself a second here to try and talk myself into Library of Alexandria over Mox Jet. I actually do think it's very close. Yeah, right? What a fucking pack. Which is better with a Vamp Tutor opener? I guess Mox. That was painful. Yeah, I think that might just be wrong. Well, Dreddy is a discard outlet. Well, we've got Scrapwork Mud here. Scrapwork's a lot better with Recurring Nightmare. So we're just going to nab that one. I would love to see this first pack. I haven't gotten to do the welder thing. Oh, that's not true. I had a sacrifice deck that was doing that. Taking the Mox can't be that wrong. Well, I don't think taking either of them can be that wrong. I think it's legitimately a very close pick between Library and the Mox there. Like, the Mox isn't really accelerating me that well because this is the curve. Like, these cards don't actually exist. I might not play the Living Death. This might literally be the curve, and then, like, what's the Mox Jet doing for you, right? But we also might fill the curve out a bit, too. And Library is so good in Reanimator. It's, like, the actual best shell for it. Thinking if I want him to Turok or Fiery Confluence. Both pretty serious business cards. Take the fucking Lotus Petal and just more fast mana. Entomb Reanimate turn 1. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a Entomb, but that'd be sweet. Rights is interesting. A little on the expensive side, similar to the Living Death. Tempted to just grab Fatal Push. Fair Yawgmoth's Will is sort of interesting with the Dark Ritual here, too. Kolaghan's Command is a discard outlet. Yeah, I don't think we're really short on discard outlets. And is the part of the deck that we are very full on. It's a great card, though. Yeah, I'll take it anyway. Hey, now there's a discard outlet, Voidwalker, maybe the slightly better card. I kind of don't care. I think I'm just going to take the Pack Rat anyway. Necromancy, nice. There's some quality reanimation. Yeah, all we're really missing here is the Entomb, I think I dig Lightning Bolt over Dismember. Retrofitter's interesting, just as, like, infinite sacrifices for Recurring Nightmare. Something to do with mana. Yeah, our creature count for Recurring Nightmare is actually very low, It's a weird little ad, but I think I like it. We have plenty of removal. I don't think we need the Bolt. Yeah, maybe. Ooh, the Dreddy came back. Dreddy's one of those cards that just ensures you don't flood out. Which I kind of dig, even though it's very expensive for this deck. Bloodchief's Thirst is nice, but we already have 2 answers to Planeswalkers in Bitter Triumph and Bone Shard, so I don't think we need it. It ended up being a sideboard card. I don't think I want Phyrexian Tower. It's cute with Living Death. Fatal Push for the sideboard. Text Mage for the sideboard. Qual Ritual for the sideboard. You think Future Me will be happy with this draft? I think so too. Be interesting to see what my future self cuts to. There's certainly some options here. Nice. I had a few people ask me if Reanimator was good in this cube. I didn't really have an answer for them because I hadn't had a chance to draft it, really. Well, this seems like a good version. Really like that Mutt. All right. I am out. I'm done for the night. Should I raid some? What did I leave myself with here? This is actually pretty fucking sick. The question is whether we want to, like, keep the curve a little bit larger and include Dreddy and Living Death and Rankle. Rankle's pretty good with Ophiomancer. I kind of dig having the creatures in for the Recurring Nightmare. I could see cutting Kolaghan's Command, even though it's a solid card. Could just be a sideboard card. Lavamancer's kind of whatever here. It is sack fodder for Recurring Nightmare, though, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I think I dig the Retrofitter. It'd be kind of cool if we had at least like one big chonker to reanimate for Duretti instead of it just being a churn engine. Maybe Fatal Push is a sideboard card too. Bringing in against fast aggro and mana dork decks. The Bowmat Courier. Well, the Bowmat Courier is a little bit better than Lavamancer here because it's also a discard outlet. So Bowmat Courier and Grim Lavamancer, they're mostly to up the creature count for Recurring Nightmare, right? But the Bowmat Courier is better than the Lavamancer because it's a bit more on plan. But I think they're both reasonable here. I also don't hate playing 16 lands with this, with the Dark Ritual and a fairly low curve. Yeah, maybe I'll just cut the Duretti. I think I want more than one mountain, That would literally only be 4 red sources. Oh, it's jamming some planes in here for the Iona. 2 planes to cast an Iona, thank you. This is only 6 red, which is a little light, but maybe it's enough here. This is 13 black sources. Yeah, we don't need 13. We're going to be 12-7. Wow, this track is heinous. That's almost a hand. Just missing a swamp, huh? Missing a single swamp. I guess. A little stinky, huh? Maybe they'll play something sweet for me to reanimate. I almost don't want to Flame Slash then, because we can Bone Crusher it. Actually, he might be just, or they might just be like straight up leveling it up. Like level there, untap, play 3rd mana source, level to 4/4. We do not have Entomb for them, Kuna, and we only have 3 other reanimation targets. Plus, it's very castable off of Dark Ritual and such. Unlike the other reanimation targets. Yeah, if you naturally have to discard, like you just like need to pair a loot effect with a reanimation target, you want to play more than like 1 or 2 of those things, right? You want to play like 4 or 5. Potentially even 6. Like if your deck was like 6 reanimation targets, 6 ways to loot it, and 6 reanimation effects, you'd have like a nice consistent deck, right? And then the other slots would just be like tutors and filler and such. Sure. But thinking that you're just like gonna have other better things to reanimate all the time is like kind of wishful thinking when you don't have actual tutors for them, don't have the Entomb to directly get them. You're a combo deck, and you should be as consistent as you can. Let's hold Bowmat Courier, because we can play that and Recurring Nightmare next turn. I think I kind of dig Pack Rat and see if that baits a removal spell. Rip some cube, open a Lotus. Hell yeah, right tie. Well, that's a fucking bummer. And that's fucking annoying. Wow, that sucks. Crocus makes the Iona look kind of embarrassing. over there like wondering what the fuck I'm doing over here. At least they don't have the mana up to kick their Intrepid here. But I'll get the Oviomancer in play. The Iona, as I pointed out earlier, is going to be worthless versus the Caracas. And then white anyway. And then the Mutt will give me a loot. Sub Grizzlebrand. Well, Matt Courier attacking there would have been totally fine. I should have done that, actually. It might have been a nice draw, too, next turn. Kind of a free attack. Hey, Peripheral 1994. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for 68 months. You forgot the Living Death had a free blood pressure spike as part of its resolution. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm winning this. Paying 7 life into Grizzlebrand doesn't seem super effective. I think Pack Rats gets raced by them just, like, activating Figure. And just making that a fucking 8/8. It's pretty good. I'm gonna set my upkeep stop here. And slam this Recurring Nightmare. And hopefully we'll get to untap with some stuff. Hey, what's up, Bellmeister? What's up, Bacterium? Either the Bowman Courier or the Pack Rat could be a discard outlet for me. But I'll need to untap with one of them, and I'm going to get attacked for a shitload here, I think. They also have a Firebolt in their graveyard, but that might be kind of counterintuitive. Wow, that's it? I would have gotten a lot zestier there. Now our question is, do we want Archon or do we want Massacre Worm, Massacre Worm would kill the Figure, the Blade Splicer. They could save the Ragavan. So it'd drain them for 6, they'd go down to 9. But the Hero Blade Hold would still be around to attack and stuff. I think I want the Archon, getting a little bit of life back. Sack my Snake Token. Play my land out. Pass the turn. Give my Snake Token back. We'll see if this is stabilizing enough. Think about that Faithless Looting in my graveyard. It's not that useful for bidding Grizzlebrand and Iona. Like, activating Pack Rat's better for that. But if it did find me the Massacre Worm, it could clean this board up real quick, But maybe just playing the Bone Crusher, making 2 rats is better. It's kind of a real card. Could kill my Archon and reanimate it, just for more triggers. If they go to 3 here, that's just the play, Hey, Red Dog wins. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for the 3 months. Yeah, the opponent knows that I've got Recurring Nightmare in hand because I played it earlier, so they see the line. They're at 3. The old kill my own creature for lethal. I think Fatal Push and Colligan's Commands are coming in, and I'm wondering if I can afford to cut Grizzlebrand and Iona just because they get bricked by My opponent's Caracas so very badly. Maybe I'll leave Grizzlebrand in and cut Iona. Grizzlebrand, you still might draw 7, maybe. Pretty miserable, though. Holy shit! Red Dog! Spring gifted subs into the chat. Congratulations to Stunlock, Covalent Bond, Daytona TC, The Annihilatrix, Simple Sarah, Sen Schrumpter, Steve0484, Zach670, Elvin Cloud, and Alva Rukai. Thanks again, Red Dog. Very cool. Would I be down for a pod stib? You better believe I would be. Oh shit, what up? Why is it called Cube? Because it's like a set grouping of cards that resembles a cube once you have enough of them, right? The deck box is so large, it doesn't resemble the regular rectangle for sleeving up. Oh, later in the draft, please, Bana Wargs. There's an outside chance that I end up switching over to the Bazaar later tonight. But I'll likely be down to Jam. Likely down to Clown. It sounds like a fun step. They'll get me to actually try out that birthing ritual. What was I doing? I need to submit here pretty soon. Let's cut Rankle. An Inferno Titan would be pretty good this matchup. I think that Vamp Tutor is going to have to tutor up a removal spell because the Sand's kind of slow. No 1-drop. That's a good sign. That's a good sign for us. No 2-drop? That doesn't make sense. They must have some flash critter. Or maybe a Tithe for my him here. Containment Priest. Discarded. No. Opponent. Why didn't you play the Containment Priest? Opponent, no! Oh, that was their turn. They passed to hold it up. I need an upkeep stomp. Maybe just Flame Slash here. Yeah, this game might be all in on this Pack Rat plan, huh? Have you ever seen a worse living death? If they ever end up blinking the Blade Splicer, I'll feel silly, but I think this is okay. And I'm making them discard now while they've got fewer options, fewer cards in hand. They could, like, draw a dead land for a turn and want to bin that, right? If I wait on the discard option. The downside of doing it this way is they could play some sweet equipment or something and burn you for that. At what point does one stop playing lands for Pack Rat? Right now. But because now I can play the Pack Rat and activate. How sweet would it be to have a Pack Rat just solo? An attack there would be okay, because you could, like, if they double block, you can activate Pack Rat and then also throw out a removal spell. I don't really want to do that, though. And now my attacks are just good, I think. God, Pack Rat, it's been too long. It's been too fucking long. Is Packrat the most atrocious limited card ever? I don't think so. Elishnorn was always my vote for that. With Packrat, your opponent would play a Packrat on turn 2, and you're like, oh, okay, I have like this turn to play a removal spell. Unless you like were lucky and had like a detention spear or something in your deck. So it's like, okay, got variance. Next game. It sucks, but with Elishnorn, you would like play an entire game. You'd play an entire fucking game, and you would outplay your opponent at every turn, and they would just be dead on board. And a removal spell wouldn't do it, and a fucking sweeper wouldn't do it, and a fucking, like, you just, like, have them covered 6 ways to Christmas, and then they're like Elishnorn, and you're like, oh, well, I'm glad I invested so much time and resources into this. I'm here to mance the lava. I am no longer here to mance the lava. You have successfully tithed me out. Yeah, peripheral. We've had some bomb-centric limited formats recently. OTJ was, like, really high-powered. OTJ was, like, cube-like, I thought, in how it played out. And I don't think that was even, like, a bad thing. It, like, fit the format that they created. Oh, there's some good him hits, Wondering if I should be trying to set up Living Death. All right, here we go. And we ended up taking 6 more damage than I needed to off the Sarah Paragon. And that could end up being wrong. Like, it's possible I should have killed it early on and then, like, just let them have it back with Living Death. Killed the 2-drop before attacks, then let them rebuy it with the Angel. Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess that would be fine, right? Because they would have the death touch, or the death thing on it. Yeah, I like that line. Let me be at 10 here instead of 8. Could super matter. My opponent's playing red. Am I doing anything for Halloween? Only your mother, Steve. No, I don't know. I think we're putting out like just a table for kids to come and collect candy on. We went to a Halloween party on Saturday, and I think that's about it. It was an eye-themed Halloween party, and we wanted something that was super low effort. And so we got some name tags that said Mr. and Mrs. Hill, and then we stuck some like cheap plastic eyes to ourselves. Because the Hills, you see, they have eyes. If I know anything about the Hills, those are some eye-having motherfuckers. Kennedy wins. Once again, going to be boarding in the Fatal Push. Just cutting Rankle again. That was kind of a chill game, We didn't really see anything for Cooligan's Command. I think I'm going to leave it out. Hard for Cooligan's Command to not get value, but I'm still going to leave it out. kind of dig this. No black sources, but the deck's got like 12 black sources in it. And I think turn 1 Retrofitter. Oh, I'll just do that. I was going to say turn 1 Retrofitter, turn 2 Scrapwork Mud, discarding Massacre Worm. This is probably pretty reasonable. Wow, we could just him on 2. Let's just do that. Or you just rip back-to-back black sources and... I bet the opponent's happy with me hitting 2 lands, since they've got Magda here. Rabblemaster. Alright, reanimate right off the top. Let's go. Well, the Magda's spitting out treasures, Straubens, so they're just going to be happy. Oh, hey. Well, they play Mana Tithe. I think I'm supposed to play this Mud out into it. Yeah, right. Why reanimate when you can simply animate? Exactly. Dark Ritual, still good after all these years. I would not say GG just yet. We're at 7 life against a red opponent. And they have some draw steps here, huh? 6 mana. Is this a Ballista on 3? What is this? Am I supposed to kill that thing before blocks? I think so. Yeah, they take 2 damage from their creature dying and they go to 7, and then they gotta chump the Massacre Worm here. And then I'd have a blocker on the Crackback. Here we are for the final match. We have a queue for pod, or a stip for pod in the queue, right? We can lock that in. On color Mox, lucky guy here. Yeah, I mean, I haven't drawn it yet, really. A 3rd Boros opponent in a row. Just 3 for 3. Delete the radio. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate the 27 months there. Alright, I guess I kill your thing. I was kind of hoping it was going to draw me at least 1 card. Mardu. That's some rude shit. It's rough because this hand has a land drop, but I kind of want to loot away this current crop of cards. Pretty glad I did that. Even though I'm whiffing on a land here. Otherwise, we play the third swamp. The Monet Courier attacks in. We still would have drawn the Faithless Looting. This Mox Jet would have gone underneath the Bowman Courier. That is a issue. They're gonna reanimate their Goblin Guide. Amazing. Y'all ready for this tag? The guide trigger. Oh, what? I think I was supposed to run the Bone Crusher Giant out. I'll just pass here. Why would it be Brain Dead Mega Tank? We get to like draw the card off the Goblin Guide trigger. I was probably gonna vamp for a mountain already. And then them getting the Goblin Guide just made it better. If you look at my opponent's Graveyard Armoric, you'll see a Strip Mine and a Vindicate in there. We also just didn't draw particularly well. God, fuck this, we should import. Hey, Spawn of Haster, thanks for the $5. Fatal Push and Cooligan's Command coming in once again. Let's see. Spawn says, let's escargot hard. You're requesting some Disco Snails by Wolfpack. Oh, this is good stuff. A little narrow, I think, Elysium. We don't want a 3-mana 3/3 most of the time. Still thinking about that last cut here. Came to Turok's an option, but I don't know. It was pretty good against our other red aggro opponents. Maybe Retrofitter's slow. Would have been good that last game. Give me something to do. While I was spinning my wheels. Massacre Worm looks OP again. Euripides, thanks for the sub. Thanks for 56 months. I might cut Imperial Seal. Opponent's kind of aggressive. One less. Lose 2 life card. I kind of hate this shit. Like, the opponent's playing a Goblin Guide deck, and I'm just like, yeah, I've got a Retrofitter. They've also got Bitter Blossom, though, and Strip Mine, Vindicate, and they're, like, really land heavy with their, happy with their Vindicates. So keeping a 5-lander might not even be crazy, right? Yeah, and turn 1 Foundries, like Infinite Gas, right? And just gives me plays for the first 3 turns. Playing the Swamp in case I top deck him to Turok. I want to do that on Tomb. Well, no Ghost Reno confirmed. I think I hold on to Massacre Worm. I think we're going to cast that at some point. I think I'm supposed to eat 4 here. And then threaten the block sack next turn. And they can decide if they want to exert about it or not. Perfect. 16 lands in here, by the way. Only 6 more in the deck. Oh, thank you. What a good thing. What a good thing to point out. I was worried. Might not even be able to Masker Worm next turn. I might have to fucking make a flyer to block this fucking Glorybringer. Do they want to exert on a 4/4 or an Ovimancer? They do not. I would not either. If I can find an answer to this fucking Glorybringer, I think this Retrofitter is pretty good. It's weird, but I'm considering an Ophiomancer attack. Probably super wrong, Can I put the untap on the stack and then respond by the sack? That doesn't really do anything, right? Oh, but I can untap it before the first ability is resolved. In case they've got a removal spell for the flyer. Why have I not been doing that the fucking whole time I've played Retrofitter Foundry? This FTK was kind of fucked up. Playing the Pack Rat and activating is not crazy. I think attacking with the Construct is a bad offer when I'm the one with Living Death in my deck. Just trades with the FTK there. Those are some good fucking cards. If they're exerting, I don't think I need to chump. I can just eat 4 here. It's a bad sign that they're demonic tutoring instead of playing the Smuggler's Copter. The best draw is Living Death, friend. Hell yeah, bro. These are the 98 months. You gotta love some Vintage Cube. You gotta. Just trying to one-shot me with the Glorybringer now. Perfect. Yeah, we're just dead. We're just dead to flyers, the Smuggler's Copter, plus the Glorybringer. They can even like block off with all of their 3 ground pounders here and then bring the Woe Strider back to crew the Copter for the win. And we can't get in, so... Man, a reanimation effect at any point this game would have it would have been nice, Even here, I think reanimate would have won. Pointing at the Massacre Worm. They can crew the Smuggler's Copter in response and have 2 blockers, but then they eat fucking, what? Some damage, and any blocks deal more damage. Oh well. Such is the game of Magique. The bonus deck was sweet. Nice mix of pressure plus disruption. We had plenty of answers to a Glorybringer in our deck. We just didn't draw them. Yeah, we didn't draw a removal spell, or a reanimation effect, or a tutor. We kind of just flailed around there. Not crazy that they would get to win, Yeah, Theben Chow sharing the Prime, sharing the 11 months. Am I down for that stip? You better believe I am. Let me put it in the overlay.